What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Import Modify. We're going to continue on with the SRT4 build, and like I spoke about last episode, we're going to go ahead and throw a little layer of paint on the engine bay to complement the engine. And the paint of choice that I'm going to go with, because I have it and it's actually pretty good stuff, is Rust-Oleum Professional, the high performance enamel. It dries relatively quick, 15 minutes, fast dry, and it gives it a nice flat black look. And this is what it was when I sprayed it. If you can see it, it's nice black. And I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a nice little do-over in the engine bay so it freshens things up. And in order to do that, we're gonna have to peel back the onion, I guess, so to speak, because look at all this mess. Man, jeez. But, you know, basically just allow myself to get access to the sides and everything like that. I'm gonna go ahead and drop these coil over. I'm gonna bolt them and drop them down, and also take off this bracket as well. And this motor mount here, it's gotta go as well. Just like that. So just gonna kind of clean up the areas that I'm gonna be painting, and I almost tongue twisted myself on that one. But this right here as well is it's rusty, so I'm just gonna go ahead with a wire brush on an angle grinder and kind of get that, you know, taken care of a little bit. It does look like it has, well, no, it's not connected. All right, yeah, this is part of the transmission mount right here. So I could take this off, and we can clean that up and repaint it, and it'll give me access to all that. You guys get the idea. So we're gonna get this done. We're gonna work on the engine, and the plan is to put that engine into that engine bay. And that is the goal of this episode. I got my work cut out for me, so let's go ahead and get this thing going. Alright, so I got this side mostly prepped. I did drop the coil over, and I used a motorcycle jack to support the bottom of the wheel just to hold it up, and stuffed a blue rag in there, and that should mask it off. And I'm just gonna go ahead and touch this side up, touch a little bit of this area up, and then I'm gonna have to work a little bit more on this side, and then do the same on this, and then after that we'll move on. right, guys, we are done with the engine bay, and I'm pretty happy with the way it came out for a really quick rattle can job. You can't beat the Rust-Oleum Professional because of the coat that it lays. It covers up imperfections pretty well. It's flat black, it doesn't reflect, you know, so it doesn't show things, it more or less hides things. And the fact that this was a black car to begin with, you know, I was able to get away with not really prepping a whole lot, and overspray really wasn't a concern of mine because most of the things that I was overspraying onto were already black to begin with. I was just very careful around certain areas and you know, completed the mission. So this is good to go, and I think that it's acceptable. I'm happy with it, you know, for a rattle can job, real quick, you know, knocking it out. It's pretty good. Y'all saw what it looked like before. This will actually complement the engine, so we're good to go on this. I'm gonna have to put things back together real quick and kind of lay the wiring out of the way and all that, but you know, we're not quite there yet for putting that engine in because we got to get the accessories on. So I got to gather everything up. We're gonna get all the accessories. I got to find all the nuts and bolts and everything where I put them at, and then once I have everything laid out, we'll go off of the mock-up right there and we'll get this all put together. I am gonna have to take care of a couple issues along the way. One being I need to verify that all the threads are good on this flange right here and get me some studs. I need some new studs, and also broken bolt right here I noticed when I was painting it, and I need to extract that. But other than that, it's just pretty straightforward. Put the stuff on, and at that point, once we have all that on, it's going in there, and that'll be that, man. Part of the battle is done. Half the battle, I guess, half the battle, because I have another, you know, half of the battle that's gonna be uphill to run. So with the wiring and everything, because there's so much hacking and stuff that was done to the wiring, and he had like LED lights added on here or there, and there's a lot of extra wiring wired in. I got to figure out what they have going on with everything. And also there's a relay hanging in the back where the fuel pump's at, so they wired in a relay for the fuel pump that isn't factory, so I got to figure out what exactly they did on all that. So I guess what I'm saying is I still got my work cut out, you know. Part of the battle's won, but the war's not over. All right, let's go ahead and gather up my stuff. For me, it's gonna be a while. For y'all, it's gonna be real quick, and then we'll get that engine put together so we can get it in this engine bay. All right, so we got the accessories on the engine now, and I gotta tell you, it took longer than I anticipated because there was a lot of stuff I had to look for. There was things that still needed to be cleaned. Some things needed to still be painted. Some things I had to rob off of that. But in the end, we got it together, and hey, the goal is met, but did take longer than I anticipated. But a couple of things that I robbed off of that engine that I put on this, because I was looking at the solenoids on this car, and I started doing research on why people would do that and how they do that, and I noticed that that engine had an aftermarket wastegate, which I swapped now on here, AGP, and I'm just going to continue on with deleting that, and we'll see how that works out, but it'll give me a good starting point. I guess it'll be easier for me to do that than to try to find lines and try to run the solenoids to everywhere. We'll just go ahead and go this route, complete deleting the solenoids for now, and we're gonna get some 33 ohm resistors and wire them in these connectors, and that's gonna fool the computer into thinking that the solenoids are still there, and we won't get a check engine light for that. And I just need to do some research on what they usually sell these wastegates at. I wonder if it's like 15 psi or whatever it boosts at. I don't know. I imagine it's enough that the engine can handle, hopefully. So we'll have to see how that works out. But that's the game plan with that. And I need some belts. I want to get the belts in. They won't be in until tomorrow. It's about to get dark outside, but so I'm gonna put some belts on it for the alternator, and also the power steering pump. I could do that once it's in the engine bay, but mainly I want one for the alternator because it sits in the back and it's easier to do it now than to do it in the car. So that's the game plan, and I still got to get the wiring and all this situated, so I'll knock that out while I'm waiting on the belts in the morning, and I will fulfill my promise to you guys about having that engine in this engine bay. Believe me, I wanted to end the episode early a couple times, but I said, you know what, I promise you guys that this engine's gonna be in this engine bay, and it will be. So see you guys in the morning. We'll get this thing in. Guys, huge strides were made on this episode. I promised y'all the engine would be in the engine bay. Well, I made that promise, and we made it happen. If you're still here watching, smash the like button. Every single one of y'all, that would help me get my videos out there to the people so I can grow my channel and make it more worth my while, man. Anyway, it's still worth my while. You know, you guys know what I'm saying. It's just, I would like to grow it, and I need y'all's help to grow it. And if you're here and haven't subscribed, subscribe. It's in there. I had to do some prepping in the engine bay before I can get the engine in, and it was exhaust flange surface. I cleaned that up so it'll mate well with the new gasket. I changed out the coolant reservoir with an OEM one from the donor car because I like to see my coolant levels. That aftermarket aluminum one, you can't even see in there, so it didn't make no sense to me. That makes sense to me. And also I tidied up the fittings on the power steering lines and also the hose clamps on the cooler lines and everything, and just made sure that all that was sealed up before I put the engine in, because working in that back area is hard with the engine in there, and common sense is take care of it before you put the engine in. So that's what I did. And also the throttle cable as well, we replaced that one because I saw the other one was zip tied to the throttle bracket. It had a messed up fitting, so swapped that out as well. And just made sure everything was gone through and good to go before I put the engine in. Now the engine was kind of a two-step process. One, because I have everything on the engine, and basically meaning the turbo and everything that on this side that would interfere with this. That's why I have some bends right there, because you got to get a little persuasive with it. This engine is quite big for this small little engine bay, and a lot of times you have to work it from the front because you have more room, and then get it in place and then come up. And that's basically what I did. I actually brought it in, lowered it on the legs, rested it, readjusted my mounting point to help it get to the level it needed to be in, or the pitch, so that the mount there would line up and the mount there would line up. So a little bit of a findangling process. You got to be patient with it. And if people say you can't put it in with the turbo and a pulley on, well, I just proved you wrong. You can do it. It just takes some finesse, basically. But very happy with the results, and we're going to continue on with this thing on the next episode. I'm going to keep swinging and banging is what I wanted to say. I don't know. It's hard to talk on this camera, guys. You know, you mess up a lot. It's more difficult than you think. But I'm getting used to it. More and more I do it, the more and more I get better at it. So kind of like working on cars, right? But yeah, we're done on this one, guys. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll definitely see y'all on the next one. Peace out.